right, Sarah. Starting this week, millions of people on Medicaid could begin losing coverage. A pandemic policy that helped 15 million people has expired. People in Arizona, South Dakota, Arkansas, Idaho, and New Hampshire will be the first affected. They could begin losing coverage this month. The now expired policy bans states from kicking anyone off Medicaid, even if they no longer qualified, so states stopped checking eligibility. As a result, last year, only 8% of Americans were uninsured. That's the lowest rate there's ever been. But the spending package passed last December by Congress set April 1st as the date to unwind this guarantee. Anyone who no longer qualifies or fails to re-enroll will lose coverage. The concern is that this will include millions who are actually still eligible but slipped through the cracks because they did not get a notice or didn't understand the notice. The Department of Health and Human Services says children, young adults, as well as Black and Latinos will be most affected by this. CNN's Amber Walker has been digging into this story. Amber, I imagine there are a lot of people out there concerned thinking, how can I make sure I stay on if I still am allowed to be on?
Yeah, John, they'll be concerned if they're even aware that this is even happening. So as you said, yes, you're right. I mean, this will disproportionately impact children and, of course, people in the Black and Latinx communities. But right now, the most important thing to do for Medicaid recipients is to get online, go to your state's Medicaid portals and update your contact information, your financial information, and do not forget to press the renew button. Renewing your enrollment will be paramount. There are two main things, though, to be, I guess, people are keeping an eye on that they're concerned about. And you mentioned it, John, 15 million people, they're expected to potentially lose their Medicaid insurance coverage. This is primarily for people with low incomes, not because, and about half of those 15 million are expected to lose their coverage, not because they're no longer eligible, but because perhaps mistakes will be made along the way by state employees, or the Medicaid recipients are not aware of this quote-unquote unwinding period, and they will fail to re-verify their information and re-enroll. Also to keep in mind, the biggest challenge right now for advocates is just getting the word out, making people aware that this is even happening. Right now, 14 states will have about 14 months, I should say, to re-verify and disenroll people from the Medicaid rolls. And I spoke with Courtney McKnight. She is an enrollment specialist here in Georgia. And she said, yes, that has been the biggest hurdle, getting people to know that this is even happening. Listen.
So my family could, because I had Medicaid for my kids, and I could lose Medicaid for my kids? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. Everyone has been pretty receptive, and I think it was just everyone was freaking out because the way the information is given, it's like, you're going to lose your benefits. And it's like, no, that you have not lost them. You're not going to lose them if you enroll within your 30 days.
All right, so I mentioned earlier that mistakes potentially will be made as of April 1st. Every state has begun the process of re-verifying all 92 million Medicaid recipients. As you'd imagine, John, it's going to be a monumental task, especially for many states that are dealing with staffing shortages and high turnover rates, which means that there will be some inexperienced workers who will potentially make mistakes and perhaps deem someone ineligible for Medicaid, even if they are eligible. So the best thing to do right now, what's in your power as a Medicaid enrollee, is to get to your state's Medicaid portal and update all your information and re-enroll now. Don't wait for the state to contact you that you need to do so in this short window, John.
That is such important advice, Amber Walker. Don't wait for the deadlines. Check now. This is something really important for so many people. Thanks so much, Amber, for that report. Sarah?